Welcome back to the Town Hall 13 5 versus 5 wars. Today we have a very exciting one. J'Off versus Lando Gaming, all part of the Pinnacle Cup. As with ever of the 5v5 wars, you are going to see every single one of the attacks throughout this video. And if you are interested in seeing more of the wars like this, I will link down in the pinned comment the playlist of the 5v5 wars. However, let's go ahead and get into the first attack. So Landor is the first attacker of J'Off. Now you can let me know your predictions. Two powerhouses, J'Off and Lando Gaming. Who will win? It's gonna be an epic one, guys, for sure. And J'Off, think that the hybrid is a good strategy to start off. You may have seen bases very similar to this, with the Town Hall down to the south and almost the V shape around it. Landor feels like this is the way to go. So the king created a bit of a funnel for the queen, who is now going to walk straight in towards the multi-inferno. This looks good for Landor as a test balloon powers forward and does get the red air bomb. Has to be careful here with the queen. Amazing not to use the ability. Super close, and that is what the automatic ability can enable these pro players to do, is take bigger risks. Landor took the risk there, ended up using it anyway, but gets through this area very successfully. I was just about to shout out that the healer is getting picked off by the archer tower. Landor sends in a loon. Unfortunately, there's a Sam there, so he sends in a bowler, but it's still not enough. Thankfully, the queen has got through this area. She will lock onto that town hall, and the 1 star will be secured, and that is a big factor in these single attack format wars. You cannot lose the 2 stars, but Landor loses his queen. She's got good value, but would have liked that scatter shot. Let's find out what the hogs and miners can do as they come in with a quick Grand Warden's ability to try and tank through that initial scatter shot and eagle. They now have to deal with the second one though, so a heal spell comes in. 1 heal spell towards the back end of the base will be used, but there's a lot of base left here. Hogs and miners have split up as well, which means the spells are ineffective at this point. Having to save onto the final heal, does get the scatter shot down, but with the multi, a back end wizard tower to get through, it's looking ever so hard for Landor to get through this. There's still a chance, but as the hogs are caught in the tornado trap, time is ticking away. Hog riders getting obliterated, skeleton traps distracting his troops, and now it is all down to the royal champion's ability. A P.E.K.K.A. and a few wizards could be the savior with 30 seconds. Do not write Landor off yet. Royal champion's ability goes off to get through the defenses. 23 seconds. It is a race against the clock, and the royal champion's ability, the savior in this attack. Landor, with bags of experience battling for MCES in the World Championships last year, gets the 3 star to kick this one off for J'Off, and they couldn't have asked for anything better than that top level stuff. It is Lando Gaming's turn to try and fight back. Battling out of megastars, we have Aria and the Yetis. We know how prominent this strategy is in the current meta. We've already had the hybrid, now we've got the Yeti, the 2 most popular strategies for Town Hall 13, but you have seen many videos on my YouTube channel in recent days of just a ton of Town Hall 13 attacks. I love the variety that we are seeing, and the Grand Warden walk, which is starting this attack, is one of the most common ways that you should be starting a Yeti smash attack, purely because of the funneling the Grand Warden is able to get. This right hand side of the base is going down, and I would assume that the Yetis are coming in towards the 6 o'clock area. The king does get deployed in that region in order to create that funnel, along with a couple of witches. I like it. That, with the single target inferno, means they should not be within range, and it just helps to back the king up, tank a scatter shot as well as we move through. Here comes the Yetis though, with a wall wrecker. Interesting approach. obviously wants to minimize on the amount of spells used, but he has to keep away from the single target Inferno. So far, the Yetis do a great job into the center. Clan Castle troops coming out, and with rage spells again and again in a line, it is powering the Yetis forward, but now we have the difficulty of the scatter shots. One goes down. Yetis are frozen due to the ice golems taking major damage. They've got to get across to that scatter shot if Lando Gaming and Megastars has any chance of this. It is now frozen, so it could help out. Is the Town Hall going down? There it goes with the Royal Champion. Scatter shot. Single is going to go down here, maybe. Come on, get that single, Yetis. Oh, this could get it done as well. Another rage spell. 1 minute. The Queen's ability. Royal Champion still soldiering forward. Is Lando Gaming going to answer back and give you one of the best starts to a war that we have ever seen? We love when the wars are super close, super tight, and you never know who is going to win, and we know that both of these clans are incredible. The Queen's ability gets popped with 40 seconds on the clock. This one Yeti and archers do a lot of damage onto the archer tower, and that could be major. But with 2 archer towers and a cannon, we've got to start getting the goblins in to help with time. We're down to nearly 20 seconds now. The Queen won't take long, but the storage could be the defense. 18 seconds. The time is ticking away, and with the the wizard goes down. The Queen is not going to get it. What looked so good for Lando Gaming turns out to be so far away. 98% is heartbreaking for them. It keeps them there with percentage, but they are already a star behind. The Hog Riders, the method of choice for Sir Iron. Super close by Lando Gaming, but can J'Off get yet another 3-star? And that would really put them in the driving seat here. They're already in the lead, but anything can happen in these wars. We have seen clans come behind by 1 star from their initial attack and still win. Sir Iron, with a lot of experience on offense, on defense, one of the top base builders in the game, takes out the Town Hall with the Yeti blimp and manages to lure the Clan Castle troops. It is a soft CC, but it does have 2 ice golems. That is purely to try and slow him down, and that's the beauty of luring it. You don't have to worry about the ice golems distracting your troops when you're in the middle, when you're taking damage. The poison, a nice use on this one to help get rid of the witch, and irrespective on a single attack format, you can't really not take a poison because you don't know what's going to be in the clan castle. So Sir Iron with a wise move there to get that done, and the Queen can soldier on. She now has pathing due to that Yeti blimp straight around the top area of the base. King is going to help with that funnel, and we're sneaking in wall breakers now to this section. A single target Inferno being the target of the charge means you don't have to freeze it for the wall breakers, but he will have to freeze it for the Queen. Uses the rage because this is the final chance with the wall breakers to make any headway. They open up the compartment with the wizard tower, but the Queen is locked onto the single, and this is a nightmare for Sir Iron as she does not go to the single target. Already lost a healer due to a Sam, and the Queen is probably going to go down at this stage. Ability will be used, but he's not going to commit any more spells. He will use the rage on the Hog Riders to try and drive percentage. Early Grand Warden's ability is super smart due to the wide approach the Hog Riders had to take with the Queen not being in there. Royal Champion on offense can take out the enemy Queen, and check this out, guys. The Hog Riders have actually done a super nice job through this base. Royal Champion's ability goes off. Can we get to the scatter shot sooner rather than later? It's not happening. The 2-star is secured, but Sir Iron just had to do anything to drive up the percentage as high as possible once his queen was not getting into the single target inferno. That's where the wide approach with the hogs, early Grand Warden, get the spells in early. You don't want to lose a lot of hogs before you use the spells. So it is only 60%, might be able to push closer to 70, but it's still not very good in terms of percentage. To put it in perspective for you guys, in these 5v5 tournaments, we are tending to see around about 90%. Landor Gaming got well into the 90s, although they didn't get the 3-star. What that means is if they do get a 3-star on the next attack, they then take the lead, and J'Off will, surprisingly, after an opening 3-star, they would be behind. Here we go, it is the main man himself, Lando, wanting the 3-star, wanting to put his team in the lead against the almighty J'Off. The hybrid is the method of choice with a stone slammer at the moment. Now remember, you can always swap out your siege machine if needed, and that's one thing that pro players will do. Have all of the siege machines ready to swap out. A haste spell alongside the balloons, try to get to the single inferno. Oh, it was a lovely plan by Lando Gaming, but it didn't happen for him. He could send a couple of hog riders in here to help. There they come to the cannon, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough to get the single. Skelly traps pop and a spring trap. Brilliant design. That might have even been Sir Iron himself. I love the creativity from Lando, but it did backfire, unfortunately, and the queen takes major damage, pops the ability. In comes the hybrid. Now this is interesting because the queen has to take this jump spell into the middle to keep the hogs and miners on track to that town hall. Risky maneuver, but got to be done. We've still got the royal champion in this vicinity as well. Lots of troops coming out of the clan castle though, which can do damage. Town hall not quite activated, so hog riders will go past it unless the miners activate it first. That is the beauty of the hybrid attack. We're getting close to it though. Remember, the 51% will activate that Giga Inferno. Troops are around it. There it goes. Hog Riders drawn into the center. Wait a second. Lando in a scary moment, and it looks like it could be a 1-star. It was a risk coming from that other side. You've got to secure the town hall. I'm all for taking risks, but Lando finds himself stuck with the 1-star. That really opens this up. They could have taken the lead, and Sir Iron will be so much happier about that low percentage 2-star because irrespective, the star is on the board, and unfortunately for Landor Gaming, they slip another star behind. J'Off somehow find themselves 2 stars in the lead. This could be the one that puts them 3 stars in the lead, and that really does then mean it's their war to lose. Humble Luke with the Yetis starts with a couple of loons to very smartly take out an archer tower and a mortar, get very good damage and funneling, and always remember to check bowler bounces. You will be surprised how often you can bounce onto a mortar, and that helps to cut off the path massively. So the queen comes up to the top. Weird base design, but that is designed to try and stop wall breakers from pathing weirdly. As the queen comes forward, sneaks a balloon in, does go down to the air defense, but we can commonly see Sam's, the black air bombs in that area, so sends another balloon in to test. Here comes the Yetis deployed with the king on the outside, so I like this. The queen is going to be able to get access to the town hall herself. Meanwhile, the Yeti comes straight into the base. It's all about how this scattershot and town hall go down. How quickly can the queen get it? 2 dragons in the CC. Always want to vary the clan castle, and that's where that poison we were talking about in the last attack is super relevant. Interesting to come in with a wall wrecker. Many people will wait until the stone slammer can directly target the town hall. Humble Luke decided to play it safe, go with the wall wrecker. Town hall will go down, but with 3 single target infernos, it will be incredibly difficult to get this done. Queen pops that ability, threads through the defenses in this area. Royal Champion has hers. We've got one Rage and a Freeze spell as well, but not many Yetis left on the board due to them splitting up, not really having good pathing on the right hand side. I feel the Wall Wrecker could have came in earlier because he lost a lot of momentum through the base with the Yetis moving across to the left, but still going to be close. He's got that Rage spell which he can use. Royal Champion does not have an ability, so the single will not be its friend here, taking her down. We've got to use that Rage in a second. The Yeti's taking huge damage, so the Yeti Mites can help out. Here they come. The giant bomb goes off and they all go to the same defense, which means a couple of them are lost, but all in all, a good percentage for J'Off. Remember, they are 2 stars in the lead. They've just got to maintain that high percentage and hope that Lando Gaming do not catch up on the 3s, but don't write anyone else off, guys, because we've seen some crazy comebacks. If you check out the Town Hall 13 5v5 playlist on my YouTube channel, you will see all of that. It is crazy, some of the comebacks we've had. So with 3 attacks left, Lando Gaming very much still in this, but they've got to get a 3-star next, unquestionably, because Humble Luke gets the 83% 2-star for J'Off. Lando Gaming choose the Yetis as the attack. Easy peasy. Now, it's not mathematically out of the question if they do not 3-star here, because they've got 3 attacks left and they're only 2 stars behind. They're actually ahead on percentage, but they really need a 3-star. They've got to start catching this up. Takes out one of the single target Infernos. Interestingly, we have seen a lot of single target Infernos in this war, but that right-hand side compartment goes down. The clan castle is lured. Again, the ice golems can come across here, and that can be taken out free from defenses, but do not question it, because we've got 2 expos onto the queen. A rage spell will be needed. She's holding on to that ability. Only just holds on to the ability, which is huge for this attack, and she will drive herself in towards that town hall. Already cut off the funnel a little bit so that the troops will go in. We're bound to see a spring trap in this area. It's got to be. Will the queen activate it, or will the Yetis get flung off the map? Oh, they get taken through that area, but there's not one there. Tornado Trap does activate. King and Witches on the outside of the base. We've got good pathing here through, but the top scatter shot will be the issue. Is the Royal Champion going to be the saviour? Let's find out. The next jump spell should probably provide access to the northern scatter shot. Here comes the Royal Champion though. Yeti's charging through the base, and he's down to only 1 jump and the freeze. This is difficult to finish off, guys. There's no question about it. He's lost a lot of momentum through this base. Healers all over the place. They're still on the Yetis, though. And now they split up even further. Can Lando get this? Come on, let's bring this one home. Royal Champion's ability has gone off. She will go down. Next scattershot goes down. We've got a bit of momentum through the base with 5 Yetis. That is a lot of troops. The Queen with the ability and a minute left. If only the Royal Champion was still alive, this could be huge. The defending Barbarian King does such an OP job at taking out the Yetis, and it looked like Easy Peasy might have had a chance there, but the Barbarian King took out the Yetis. The scatter shot, which I did mention earlier was going to be the issue, was the issue, and unfortunately it's not enough. It still keeps the percentage high for Lando Gaming, but they've now got to get 2-3 stars in the next attacks. Another Yeti attack, and not surprising against this ring style base. We have Ast of J'Off, who are now ahead on percentage and 2 stars in the lead. So if they get a 3-star here, what that means is they would need to fail on their last attack to not win this one. Queen quickly gets to that single Inferno with help from the Rage and the Grand Warden and the Wall Breakers. Such a high velocity troop deployment in that area, but powers through, gets the single, and this looks good already with the king and witches. That powerful combination we see to create the funnel. We will then see the Yeti moving straight in. Here they come, not messing around here, does not want a time fail. Normally up to about 2 minutes is what you would see, but we're well in before that. King and the ability will get through, and it's a good play to freeze the single, just to protect the king and help the pathing through the base. You have no idea how important that is. How does the town hall go down? Just as I say that, a battle blimp flies right in. Now he will have to deal with the sweeper, but it's really not going to be that big of an issue because there's nowhere else for it to go. It gets to the town hall. Yeti's inside? Yes, there is, alongside the rage spell. It goes down in a flash, and it looks very good for J'Off as the Yeti mites bounce onto the scatter shot. It goes down. We have huge velocity, leaving the eagle artillery until last. We've now just got to get through the single. If the single target goes down and we can protect the royal champion and the queen's ability, then it will be good. Healers still on the Yetis. We've got a lot of witches and skellies on the outside. One freeze spell, but saves onto it. Does not need it for the single, so he'll be able to tank an eagle artillery fire, I would assume, but with a minute in the bag, J'Off looking super strong here. Ast is bringing it home and going to get them another 3-star. We've had some up and down attacks, some excitement, drama within this one, but it is going to be a 3. Another one that you guys can enjoy, and this is a common multiplayer style base that you now know how to take down, and it now is in the hands of J'Off to lose this one. So Lando Gaming, they've got to get a 3-star because there's still possibility. You've seen it in this war. There is possibility of 1-stars. They do happen, but they've got to count on J'Off getting a 1-star now, using the blimp method. Now this is interesting because he's not getting anywhere near the town hall, but it will provide good pathing for the queen to walk down that area to the town hall. Is that going to be what happens here? Royal champion might be used across to the opposite side to help out, or maybe the 6 o'clock area, but in comes the queen with that poison. As we mentioned, in a single attack format, you can't really not take it. Ice golems will go down, and look at the pathing we've got. All of the buildings out of the way. The queen can only come down to the town hall. Nothing else for her to do, and that is the beauty of the Yeti blimp. King on the outside will take out the defenses and the trash buildings to direct the queen on the inside of this little hidden wall compartment, and that's what you need. You can't have the queen on the outside. She cannot then reach. She would not get the inside buildings and help to narrow that path. She is onto the town hall. It's going to go down. She will get this out of range of healers. This looks good for Lando Gaming with a Hog Rider and Balloon starting the funnel on that other side. Will it go down? Oh, they don't. Check it out, it does not go down. How crucial will that be to the funnel? I thought he might have put one more Hog Rider on that. I guess it doesn't make too much of an issue because he's got that narrow path made. The scatter shots are the main issue here. Uses the Grand Warden's ability early on. Still got 2 heal. There goes one of them to protect 1 scatter shot. Very nice that the queen breaks the wall here, in fact, to tank the expos. And again, help to narrow that path for the miners. Hogs and miners come to that back end scatter shot. The next heal is down. Oh, this is tough to get down to it. Royal Champion's ability now goes off. It's not enough to get through the scatter shot. Miners onto it, but with a double giant bomb, they go down. Wow, that was brilliant base design to have the giant bombs next to the scatter shot. And that is the difference. If the giant bombs weren't there, there's a good chance that the miners, there was a lot of them, get through that and to the back end of the base. But that is where your base design really comes in, and that's where, yes, you see top level high attacks on this, but you also see top level bases. We've already discussed how amazing J'Off are at their bases. Still a very good one here with the 80% 2-star, but they just cannot crack the 3 against J'Off's bases, and it means that now J'Off, well, they really would have to get a 0-star to give Lando Gaming any chance of winning. Can they finish it off in style? Jojo, again, bags of experience. We've seen him in the qualifiers for the World Championships, and the hybrid attack is the method of choice. A lot of Yetis and a lot of hybrid throughout this war, really showing you the two most prominent strategies in the game right now, but also that base design can defend against them. We've only had 2 3-stars in this war with top level players as well. Love the funneling on this one. Again, we see in the meta right now these crazy base designs, but the Tesla pulls the queen. Wanted the queen into the town hall, but it doesn't happen. The Tesla pulls her on the outside, and adjustments need to be made now by Jojo. Has to get the funnel created. Does break into the single target Inferno, which is nice. Allows the queen through, but he will need a freeze due to the king being in that area. Does he shift the minor deployment, or does he wait? I would assume that we will see a little bit of funneling, potentially with the Royal Champion up to the top before the Hogs and Miners come into the Town Hall, and switching. This is difficult. It's going to be a switch to a high percentage too. Maybe we see a switch on the Siege Machine, the Wall Wrecker. Let's find out. King comes into that top area. Will make that funnel. Queen will probably get the Air Sweeper, which means a Stone Slammer would also be viable to the Town Hall. It's all about what he's got in there. Starts the funnel to 6 o'clock, so it looks like the Yetis will come in from the bottom. The Hogs and Miners, sorry. Oh, but the Queen goes the opposite way. If she went up to the Town Hall, wouldn't have had to worry about it. But it is the Hogs and Miners which come into the Town Hall, not the Siege Machine. I thought he might have switched it. Royal Champion's ability quickly through that. Does go with the Siege Barracks right up to the 3 o'clock area, which is nice actually, because there's a lot of trash buildings there that the P.E.K.K.A. and Wizards can get through. Hogs and Miners moving through the base. Queen just about stays alive. Can she keep this up? Oh, she goes down. That could be the end of it. And he could have potentially saved this one if the Queen stayed alive. But wait a second. Scattershot falls. Single target Inferno falls. Healers on the multi is not ideal, but there's a good amount of miners with more Hog Riders coming into play. Royal Champion now only in. Are you kidding me? This one will be a 3-star despite things clearly not going to plan. You've got to be able to adapt, and well, if you can adapt thoroughly, you can get this done. Time is close, but there's well enough here with 8 seconds left. Another 3-star to wrap up the victory for J'Off. Beautiful stuff. Can Lando Gaming get themselves a 3-star in order to give themselves a bit pride? But 13 stars on the board for J'Off. Get them some hype. Senior Fox with the hybrid to wrap things up here. It is mathematically impossible for Lando to get this one done, but let's see if they can get a 3-star. If they can round things up to the 10 stars and pick their confidence up. We know they've got the caliber to do this. Decides to send just the Yetis inside the blimp. No rage spell needed, and that is a very wise choice. Unfortunate not to get the cannon there. However, the rage spell wouldn't have got that much more value. Yes, he'd have got the cannon, but he almost got it anyways. To have an extra spell for the Hogs and Miners is clearly more valuable. So a rage is used very early on to help the Queen through the King and through the defenses as well, as there are 2 expos locked onto that Queen early on, and the King can help with the funneling as well. So a good start by Lando Gaming here. The poison very quickly helps to get the Crown Castle troops down. This is one thing we are seeing, a bit of a mixture now of troops, not just the ice golems, to almost force the use of the poison. Are you guys seeing that as well? Perhaps you are. I like the adaptation with a couple of Hog Riders since the Tesla is distracted onto the King. That will help them buildings go down. And in come the rest of the miners and hogs to the town hall. Queen in this area with the tornado trap. We've got Skellies, the Grand Warden altar, and the Queen, not to mention a single target Inferno there. Can the Queen get the altar before it redirects the hogs? Come on, Hog Riders will change path. Ooh, well, they did. They moved into the center. He wanted them onto the scatter shot. Queen's still alive. I guess it does him a favor to get the single down, and the Royal Champion up to the scatter shot can help to take that out. Wait a second. That worked a lot better than one would have thought. As the second scatter shot goes down, the next heal spell in the area helps the Hogs and Miners through to the back end single target Inferno. If that goes down, then Lando Gaming can at least celebrate 1 3-star in this war, bringing the total to 4 3-stars, a 40% 3-star hit rate across the war. Top level stuff, and it is going to happen for him. We're calling it right now. With a couple of minions left, we've got the Miners moving around the base, and 30 seconds. I think there's enough time, but time will tell. Miners and the Queen, 30 seconds to get through this little area. There is some buildings which could slow him down, but with the Miners, I'd like to think it's enough. 19, 18, come on, it is super close. 1 Tesla goes down. 2 Teslas are going to go down. He's into literally single digits, but the 3-star does come in for Lando Gaming. It's not going to count, as the winner is still J'Off with the 13-10 victory, but a brilliant war either way. If you guys want to see more of these Town Hall 13 5v5 wars, I've got a playlist on it as well.